Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Salud.
Salud.
Mm. So Patrick, how are you?
I'm doing great. So nice to see you. So you are in Harlem, and Melanie, you're in where?
Denver.
In Denver.
Denver.
So that's not 30 minutes away or 26.
You.
Yeah, only Maria is 30 minutes from you.
Yeah.
So true.
Only you are, Patrick, for me. And no, she's in Colorado. She actually just got off a flight
I did.
from Florida, had a meeting, got a conference room so she can do the video, so she can co-host.
You are in a conference room in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
But you live in Colorado, no? In Denver, no?
I do. Yeah, I flew home, but I didn't, because of my meeting, I didn't have enough time. I'm actually south of the city about an hour, and I didn't have time to get there after the meeting. So I just said, this is a place that I come to all the time in Denver, this little conference, it's a co-working space. So I just got a conference room so I could be here.
You went to a hotel or something, or what did you do?
Yeah, it's a co-working space.
Okay, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. I'm gonna eat some cherries. This is gonna be my dinner tonight.
Oh, fantastic. Listen, I went to British Columbia, and they're known for their cherries and their peaches. We ate bags of them, just bags of cherries. They're
so jealous.
Amazing.
Nice.
Yeah. You know, I like the ones that are peachy with like a little pink. They're like orange and pink.
The yellow ones, no?
Those are my favorite. Those
are the best. I agree with you.
Yeah, I like those too.
This is the season for them.
Yeah.
And the peaches right now are incredible.
I know. So it was great. Wine country there was wonderful. It was a complete shock. I didn't like, so far the stuff I taste from Canada, I'm not a fan of. It's too sweet for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went to the Naramata like coast of Kelowna. I loved almost every winery I went to. I found 2 or 3. We spent so much money on wine. I was like, I didn't expect it because I didn't think I'd like that much. And they had exceptional wine with their fruit. Oh, it was beautiful.
This is where exactly? Sorry?
Called Kelowna in British Columbia in Canada. It's their wine country. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm hoping to get 2 or 3 wineries in our club because they were phenomenal. Like I was shocked. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a beautiful part of the world. I love that area, Vancouver and the Rocky Mountains there. Beautiful skiing. It's so nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You, Melanie, were raised in Denver or born?
No, I'm from Florida. I just moved here a year ago.
Okay.
So yeah, born and raised in
move.
Florida and happily escaped.
It's a nice move. I love that part of the world.
I
you
love
like
the mountains.
Skiing or snowboarding, or do you like that?
I like to cross country ski, but really I like the summer sports. I like to paddleboard. I like to hike. I like to ride my bike. My husband is trying to get me into bike fishing. This is his thing.
Bike fishing.
Bike fishing. So you ride your bike to places you can't go in a car, and then you fish, and then you ride your bike back.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I live very close to the water. There is someone here, a neighbor of mine, who has something that looks like a bike, but floats. And you pedal, and as you're pedaling, you're moving across the water. So
does it have the giant tires?
Bike fishing, huh?
Does it have giant tires, like plastic, colorful, giant?
No, I think it's like a board. It's like a board, but you're sitting like on a bike and you're pedaling, and underneath the board, you have like some fins or something that make you move forward.
That's hilarious.
It looks pretty comfortable, actually.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
That's what you were doing with your husband.
Yeah.
There you go.
Biking on water is very hard. I did it with the big tires, Melanie, the one you're talking about. And it's actually really hard.
It was really, that I've done it in the islands with the big tires.
Yeah, that's great. So Patrick, we're going to have, it's not many, it looks like about 10 or so people, and that's great, but we record it, which is nice. And so we're going to use it for the blog and YouTube and SEO, just to backlink and all that. And we're also going to transcribe everything we say. so that we can use quotes later on throughout the year, from you, from me, Melanie, because we talk and we have some great revelations and discussions. So we want to be able to use that to market the wines, to market the companies. So that's going to be a really nice way to get them in. So there's someone excellent. I'll put them in here, and I'm going to discuss how people, they can unmute themselves and talk, because this is something we want everyone to talk. You know, we want people to ask their questions, and I believe Melanie has her friends, the last time they had so many questions, and I felt terrible because it's like you want to have everyone ask their questions. So I tried to get as many people to submit their questions beforehand. But the questions that you've received are the questions from Melanie and I. But if we don't get to it, we don't get to it. And, you know, kind of make it go from there. Yeah, excellent. And the very nice thing is, like, we have one of, you know, our master som. Do you know Rashmi Primlani? She's a master sommelier out of Florida.
I don't think I know him.
It's a she. She's amazing. Yeah, she'll be on tonight. She's going to be tasting all of the wines that we want. Like, I go through the preliminary, I like it. She then will send her the wines, and then she curates the whole box for us. So cool. Master Som is on our team, which is really exciting.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
You know, it's funny. A lot of people don't understand. Because they just drink wine to drink it, but it's like, we have a master som. I mean, there's, you know, it's just a great thing. So it'll be fun. You know, it'll be fun. And it's very fluid. You can ask us anything you want. And then, of course, but the idea is that, you know, we talk to you about social enterprise and wine.
Okay, cool. I'm excited.
Yeah, exactly. You
I'm
know,
ready.
So I'm going to go ahead and admit people, and I'll actually go live on Facebook as well. If I could find it, that would be good. There you go.
Technology.
I know, tell me.
I'm gonna get some water. I'll be right back, okay? Because this is we're gonna be here for a while, right?
Yeah, yeah, we discuss, we have fun, yeah.
Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get some water.
Excellent. Of course, live on Facebook did it again. It kicked me out. So I have to do it all over again. Let's see.
Okay, I'm back.
Excellent.
Back like a flash.
So fast. I had some water in the kitchen, so I'm ready.
Excellent. Excellent.
So you leave to Canada tomorrow, no, Maria?
I leave on Monday.
Ah, Monday. Okay.
Yeah. I leave on Monday, so yes. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Hello. That's right. Yes, Patrick, I leave for Canada on Monday.
And then you have to quarantine, right, for 2 weeks?
That's right. That's right. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, Eric.
Hello.
Excellent.
And hi, how are you?
Great, thank you. Yeah, you can, you know, always mute yourself and unmute yourself. I believe I allowed for that this time around. So Eric, you can let me know if I've, are you muted? I think you're muted. Yeah, I'm going to ask you to unmute. There you go.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, we're going to wait a few minutes to get some people on that I know are coming. But I'm so happy to have you here. Hello, Rashmi. So great to see you. Laura, hello, hello. Excellent. Yeah, it's, well, first and foremost, salute if you have your wine.
Here's everyone.
Salud.
You have to hit the camera.
Oh, I like that. Wait. Oh, I like that. And you see, we have the background, so it kind of makes things a little. I know the new age of
During a toast, no?
of
Yeah.
toasting, of being together around the table, and I know it is wild. But yeah, I say we can go ahead and start. And as you know, people, Melanie, are you able to see if people are requesting to submit, or is that just me? I believe
Just you.
Okay, great. Well, I would love to go ahead and we can go ahead and start. I don't want to keep us too much, but thank you for coming here. I am the CEO and founder of Humanity Wine Co., where there is a philanthropist in every bottle. And I love wine, but most importantly, I love giving back. And that is the sole purpose of our company. It's the priority number one, and priority number two is wine, and creating and curating wonderful wine for our consumer, all family owned wines. And I am, it's my honor to be here with you. Today is called Wine and Wisdom Day for us at Humanity Wine Co. It's every last Wednesday we come together. My co-host Melanie, Dr. Melanie Hicks, she and I come together with an incredible featured guest. And that featured guest is either a wine professional or some sort of a social entrepreneur. And it's always going to be based around, our conversation will always be based around having wonderful wine, talking about wine, the wine industry, and or social enterprises, because that is really what we want to talk about. We want to kind of get to the nitty gritty of businesses that are giving back. I'd like to introduce to you our co-host, Dr. Melanie Hicks. She's the Vice President of Education Solutions Group at MGT Consulting. She's also the founder of In Pursuit Research, and she's a Forbes contributing writer. Welcome, Melanie.
Thank you. Thanks for allowing me to co-host. It is such an honor to get to interact with such wonderful, amazing people in the wine and social enterprise industry.
Oh yeah, I'm so glad you're with us. You're truly godsend. And I'd love to introduce you. This is my honor to introduce you to. He's become a great friend of mine. I admire him dearly. Patrick Mata. He is the co-owner of Olé Obrigado, and that is a wine import company, and they specialize in Spanish and Portuguese wines, and they have over 40 plus family-owned wineries that come straight from the Iberian Peninsula, and it's just it's amazing. What they do is amazing. So they're not just a wine import company, but they are also a social enterprise, and we'll get into that as the night goes on. But Patrick is also a wine enthusiast, tastemaker. He is a Food and Wine magazine tastemaker, 40 under 40, and he's Wine Advocate's Personality of the Year. I just think that's, Patrick, that's, I can see that 100% from the moment we met. I can see that, and I think it's quite an accolade. I could say that. And Patrick, he's also, I just need to say this because I just found this out recently, but Robert Parker, he's a big name in the wine world. Robert Parker named Patrick, he said that he's one of the most driven, passionate, and talented young men in the wine world. And Patrick, you're here with us. And I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful to have you here with us. So Patrick, I'd like to introduce you to our family. We call these people that are on our Wine and Wisdom our extended family. Welcome, Patrick.
Well, thank you so much, Maria and Melanie. Nice to meet you. It's great to be here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Welcome everyone who just joined us. Again, I'm Maria Larcella, the founder and CEO of Humanity Wine Co. Our co-host, Dr. Melanie Hicks, and Patrick Mata. He is our featured guest, and we're going to get into some really fun dialogue this evening. But first and foremost, if everyone could please raise their glass. I think we have a good amount of people here, and I'm going to tap that and cheers to you. Salud.
Salud.
Excellent. Salute. And before we begin, Patrick, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking, actually, Liquid Geography Rosé.
Yes.
Mm.
I don't know if you can see this label.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Beautiful.
It's a rosé from the northern part of Spain, and it's made with a grape called Mencia. It's like a something in between Syrah, Pinot Noir, and Cab Franc. It's like a grape that shares a lot of similarities to those three grapes. And this is a special wine for us. No, we started producing this wine in 2003, and we donate 100% of the profits of this wine to different charities. And since since 2013, we've donated over $300,000 with this wine, and
wow,
it's a wine that helps cancer research, some educational foundations in the Bronx, and recently we're helping Willing Forward, which is another foundation that helps people with disabilities. And one of these educational foundations in the Bronx closed because of COVID and other circumstances. And when that happened, we decided to donate 1/3 of the profits that we were donating to this foundation to World Central Kitchen. So
wow.
it's a wine that, you know, brings hope and helps other things that are totally unrelated to wine, which is something that is important to make this world a better place. No, it's not only our philosophy is to give back to the producers, the farmers that we represent, give back to our fellow co-workers and people in the trade, in the wine trade, from restaurateurs to people that manage distribution companies or retail wine shops, but also give back to important causes, no, that make the world a better place. So I'm drinking Liquid Geography because today it's the perfect wine, no, with this conversation, no, to be drinking.
That's right. That's right. We actually, Liquid Geography is one of the wines that you can win for this month's giveaway. It's one of your wines that we're going to be giving away. So that's really exciting. I love Liquid Geography. Anyone else drinking? I'm drinking actually Ludovicos, which is one of Patrick's. Oh, there we go. This is one of ours that we are selling here also at Humanity Wine Co. I love it. It's 100% Grenache. Grenache, however you would like to say it with the accent, but it is one of my favorites. Yeah, Grenache, and it is one of my favorites. So I'm so excited to have that. And Melanie, I believe you're drinking.
I'm drinking the Nordico, the dry rosé.
Yeah, from Portugal.
It's so funny with the background there, but
with
yes.
the background, yes. Comes and goes.
It's delicious. I love it. I am a huge dry rosé fan, so it is a delicious one for sure.
Excellent. All right. Well, I think Melanie, you had some questions that you definitely wanted to start with. Let's move on. Let's start with this.
Right. So really our first question you kind of answered in advance, which is what are some of the amazing things that the company is doing in light of COVID and really how your social enterprise is doing outreach. So if there's more to the Liquid Geography story, or you want to just tell us a little bit about some other initiatives that you might be that the company has partaken in over time.
Yeah, well, the message is very simple, no? And it applies to many different things we do as a company. We like basically to give back. This is such an important part of our ethos as a company, and we feel that we have a social responsibility, not only to take care of the people that we represent, our farmers, our winemakers, but the people who work in our company, people in the trade, helping them in every way we can, but also helping important causes, no? That sometimes, there's not enough government funding, and there, things that, private entities have a responsibility to support. And since I was, I came to this country in '98. As soon as I arrived, I realized that this country is incredible in this respect. It supports a lot of causes that in Spain there is no history and no tradition of giving back so much in a corporate way. And I was very impressed by that. I was really taken by that, and I always thought that my company, I started my company in 99. I was, in college at the time. And I thought, how beautiful it will be for everything we do to help the world be a better place, and support causes that sometimes are forgotten or not appreciated or do not get the funding or attention that they deserve. So that it's part of our ethos, and that applies in multiple ways in different circumstances. So in 2013, we created this wine liquid geography that donates 100% of the profits. When COVID started, we decided to support people in the restaurant community. This is, one of the huge industries that was most affected by COVID. How many restaurants had to close? How many
Absolutely.
millions of people, right, are employed by restaurants?
Mm-hmm.
And we felt the pain about all these people that we actually personally know that all of a sudden do not have a job and don't have an understanding of when they're going to get their job back.
Right.
So we created a program where we highlighted 20 wines, and we donated 50% of all the profits of these 20 wines for 3 months. And then it was a very successful program, and we decided to extend it until the end of August. So it has been now for 6 months or something like that, that we've been supporting a national foundation. Is called the Restaurant Community Foundation. It's based in New York, but they support people in the restaurant community throughout the US. And it's a foundation that was started about 10 years ago. And we also like that a lot because it's a foundation that it's trained to help and channel funds in the right way. There are a lot of foundations that were created during COVID to help the COVID situation, but many of these foundations do not have a lot of experience on how to manage funding. Mm-hmm. So we really like this aspect about them. And yeah, we haven't made a huge impact to this situation, but I think so far we've donated, I think, over $60,000, to
That's great.
People in the restaurant community that need help, and yeah, these are small things, but if everyone does their thing, then the world will be a better place, So I'm firm believer of doing what we do, but I also believe that by us doing what we're doing, there might be other people who find more meaning in their work and in their lives by giving back to causes that are unrelated to what they do. I love the fact when this whole thing of COVID exploded, everyone in my company was under a lot of stress and anxiety, and the big uncertainty. How will this affect our business? Will we go under? Our company is very dependent on restaurants. 60% of our business is restaurants. So we have 35 employees. It's a small company, but 35 employees is 35 families. And when COVID started, I'm sure that many people in my company were wondering, will I lose my job? What is going to happen? 60% of our revenue depends on restaurants. Restaurants are all closed.
Yeah.
And at that moment, we implemented the restaurant relief pack. This initiative to support all restaurant workers, donating 50% of the profits of 20 wines. You cannot imagine how much purpose, meaning, peace of mind this initiative brought to all the people in our organization. Everyone was charged with hope, with purpose. People were like so lost at the beginning, And as soon as we implemented this program, people, everything they did had some meaning and purpose, no? And they had direction. And yeah, so giving back, it's such a wonderful thing, no? That brings a lot of meaning to what people do on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
In my company and all companies, the companies that give back, you know, they're more special, no? They have a soul, no? All of us have a soul. All of us have a heart.
Yeah.
We are who we are always. You cannot separate, no? Some people say business is business. No, we're business is not business. We are who we are, and we're the same person everywhere we are, and we need to act accordingly in all the circumstances where we are, no? And
I absolutely agree. That's something I'd love to ask our, everyone here. Does anyone else work for a company that during COVID or prior to COVID was a social enterprise, or they have these initiatives? I know Laura works for she works for, is it Citigroup? You're going to kill me, Laura. Let me unmute you, Lau. I know Laura works for a big company. Marissa works for a law firm.
Yes, it's Citigroup. I work for Citigroup.
So you guys have some social initiative, if I'm correct. Did COVID change that? Did you guys do something different with COVID, or?
No, I mean, the only difference was instead of going to the office, we'll be working from home.
Yeah.
That's, but luckily our production didn't slow down or changed much, luckily. But the important, the thing is we didn't have the face-to-face encounter with your colleagues anymore, which this most of the time helps. So now what we do, it's a lot of Zoom meetings and a lot of conference Zoom, but luckily our production didn't slow down, luckily.
Yeah, I know Citigroup has a social side. Marissa, does your company, did they do anything?
We are all, well, some of us are working from home now full time, but it did affect our business because I'm in personal injury. So a lot of people were not driving. So it definitely affected us, but initiative wise, not really. I don't think that we did anything just because our place is so small. We just made sure that we were more accessible to the clients because they were under more stress now, obviously needing money if they didn't have a job. So basically just being more cognizant of their needs and being there for them more than we would on average. So yes, no, we didn't give them necessarily donations, but I think our time and our caring nature and just being there to listen to them and help them was what we could, provide.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's hope, right? That's what everybody wants in their companies. Eric,
right.
I'm not sure, Eric, where you lie, but I'd love to hear if there's anyone. Evan, I know he works with us on the social side. I know that he is on the Humanity del Sol side, our nonprofit side, and our for-profit. And so I know Evan has a lot of social, going back into society and doing social work and having for-profit be a social enterprise, kind of gearing that way. Does anyone else have anything on that side? Excellent. Well, I want to share something with you that I didn't, but it's really amazing. Patrick and his team, they actually they've been together since 1999. And I mean, if you look at Patrick, you're like, there's no way he's been in business for that long. He's so young.
You look wonderful.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, cheers.
The Spanish wine. I highly recommend it.
Wine, I know.
Don't drink anything else, just Spanish wine.
And she's saying you're not old enough
Spanish
to.
wine.
Yeah, and you're not old enough to drink yet.
Exactly.
Patrick, is that right?
But when I started the company, I was not allowed to drink.
He was 19 years old. I mean, do you understand, ladies and gentlemen, 19 years old. He started a wine import company from college. It's just one of those things that you're like, how does that happen? I mean, think about what we were doing at 19.
Drinking.
Yeah, we were
drinking that wine.
Oh, we all have that in common, right? We have that in common anyway.
And it's unbelievable. And his family stretches back. Him and his partner, they stretch back. And him and Alberto is his partner. And they started importing wines, Spanish wines only. And the reason they did that was their families from, what is it, the 1800s, Patrick? They're winemakers from the 1800s. So Marissa's obsessed with Spanish wines. I was like, Marissa, you need to be on this call. You know, we think like Spanish, you know, we think let's just the Rioja, Tempranillo. These are the more popular Spanish, you know, wines. And we think to ourselves, 1800s, Patrick, your family are the ancestors. These are the people that we now can say thank you for the Spanish wine.
Right.
And they started 19 years old, I mean, honestly, unbelievable. And they like I said earlier, they have over 40 now. Patrick, have you increased 40 or not, or?
We have like 40 producers.
Yeah.
We import about 240 different wines.
Excellent. Yeah.
The funny thing is, my family was selling wine in the U.S. before Prohibition and after Prohibition. So in a way, we have been importing wine and selling wine in the U.S. for more than 100 years, which is, you know,
Incredible.
at one point, my grandfather sold, you know, he passed away and the winery was sold, and our family was no longer involved in wine. And then, you know, I was born, and my father was a big mentor to me in terms of learning about wine, and I always had, you know, this desire of being involved, you know, being involved with wine. And as soon as I could, you know, when I was in college, I started importing, and then I started finding bottles of our family wines, collectors, sellers, and my family made wines in Malaga, in the south of Spain. And I found some bottles from 1934 in Chicago, in Wisconsin, in different places. And those labels no longer exist, right? Because my family no longer makes wine. But Alberto and myself, we have, you know, we produce wine in Spain as well. And now we're replicating some of these old labels from my family. And we just got an order today for the first time for one of these old labels from my family that we are resurrecting now, no? And so in a couple of months, this label, one of these old traditional, old classic labels will be back.
That's amazing.
Keep going.
I'm gonna have to try some of that.
I have to get more.
That in. Listen, Marissa, she's like, I gotta get more wine.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Nice sound effect.
I love it. I love it.
Coming back. I'm here.
This is what makes our wine events just so good. I love them.
Patrick, tell us a little bit more about the origin story of your company. What was this moment that at 19 that you said, this is my destiny, this is what I need to do?
Well, I don't know if it was my destiny, but I was, my father was someone who was a mentor to me in many ways. He's a big entrepreneur. He did a lot of real estate development, you know, projects, from residential to shopping centers in the south of Spain. And since I was, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years old, I remember him telling me, you will always work for yourself. You will graduate from college, work for 2 years for someone else, and then you will be on your own, and you will be the best at what you do. And I don't care if it's cleaning the street or selling candy in a little kiosk in the corner. But whatever you do, you will be the best at what you do, and you will work really hard to be that. No? And also like life lessons. No? And since I was 7 or 8, he will give me case studies of businesses that wanted to open in his shopping centers, and he will be giving me these things,
Oh,
you know, these, and he will ask me, tell me if we should accept this tenant
proposal, right?
in this location, and here is their business, you know, and I will be looking at this thing from I remember this ice cream company from the US,
Mr.
Ben and
Salt.
Jerry's, Ben and Jerry's.
Oh, that's a good
Ben
one.
and Jerry.
He will give me these dossier, this huge, you know, portfolio of Ben and Jerry's, and I was looking at this, and how do I know if this is a good business or not? You know.
Did you give it a thumbs up, Patrick? I hope. You
What?
gave them the thumbs up, Patrick? I hope.
Ice cream, of course, you know. So my dad will do that constantly, and he will go through the numbers with me and explain to me, you know, this is how you think about this. This is the place. This is the customers. This is what people want, and you know, and he will always also be thinking about, should we buy this property? Should we not? Is this price right? Is it? I don't know. This is my dad loves.
It sounds like he was a wonderful man. My goodness.
Yes, yes.
Teaching you all this.
And I learned a lot of things early on about, you know, how to think in terms of, and how to treat people, you know, in business you deal with so many people, and sometimes you face some very challenging moments, no? And my father, you know, obviously communicated those things to us, no? Growing up, and he will help us, teach us values, you know, how to treat people correctly. And so I was 19 years old. I studied 2 years of college in Madrid, and then I moved to Miami to do my last 2 years of college. And as soon as I arrived, my best friend Alberto, he had a winery in Spain, and he sent me some samples to my dorm, and that's when I said, I would love to do this. This is what my family did for almost a century and a half. I love the idea of being connected with wine. I was already always reading about wines, tasting different things. I was passionate, you know, in a way, you know, about this heritage, no?
Right.
And so I saw an opportunity to get involved with something that was already interesting to me. And I started asking all my professors if they could help me, give me a tip on how to go about importing wine, and no one knew anything. All my professors were totally clueless, you know, wine, we don't know how to help you. And they didn't know if I needed a license. They didn't know about the logistics, because it need to be imported by container. And I had these 3 bottles, right, that I had in my dorm. I was looking at them. I was super excited about bringing them over, but no one could guide me in the right direction of what do I need to do to bring them over. And I, at one point, realized that there was a university different from the one I was going to, that had a hospitality degree, and they were offering a class within the hospitality degree for importation and distribution of wine and spirits in the US. It was like an introductory class to explain people in the hospitality program how the wine world works, no? And I said, this is my class, you know, I'm gonna just take this class, and the curriculum looked great. It was perfect for me. This is what I want.
Right.
So I went to register, and I couldn't register. You had to be 21 years old to take this class. I was underage, you know, and I decided to, you know, when the class started, just to show up, you know, and see what will happen. And
Did they kick you out? I mean,
well, I was afraid they will ask for my ID, or if I had registered or something at the door, but no one asked for anything. So I walked through the door.
Nice.
I sat down, you know, took my notes. I looked like I was official, you know. And at the end of the class, I went to the professor and I told him, look, I was not able to register, but I would love to audit this class. Will you allow me to learn from you and be able to take this class. And he said, no problem. There are 3 empty chairs. You can take one of them.
Wow.
Incredible.
It's awesome.
This was a Monday, I think. A Monday, yes, a Monday. And then Wednesday was the next class. And I went there on Wednesday. And I told him, look, I have these 3 bottles of wine. I really would love to import these wines into the US, and I don't really know how to do this, and that's why I took this class. And I would like your advice. What should I do? What's my next step? I'm really lost. And he said, well, when you have an opportunity, I would like to try the wines, and if I like the wines, maybe I can help you. And I'm like, okay. It's like very conditional, you know, the wines need to be good, otherwise, you know. Yeah. So I said, okay, perfect. What do I do? Do I bring the wines to the class on Monday or no, don't bring the wines to the classroom. He's like, don't do that. I'm like, okay. So how do I do this? And he said, well, let's meet on Saturday at 10 o'clock at this address, you know. It was all like very, you know,
very shady.
Very, like, what is this? So
you're brave.
I went to this place. This is like a big wine store, and my professor has like an apron of someone who works at this store, and he sees me and says, "Hey, Patrick, how are you? You came. Did you bring the wines?" And I'm like, "Yes, professor, I brought the wines." And so he was the buyer for that store, but also for this store was a big chain in Florida, 25 stores. It was called Crown Liquors. It's still in existence.
Yeah.
And he was like a very important person in the wine industry in Florida, and he tasted the wines. He really liked them. This is Saturday morning, 10 o'clock, and he says, if you come tonight, there is a big tasting here, and there is a distributor that I think will really like these wines. If you come, I will introduce you to him. And I'm like, okay, perfect. I'll be here, 8 o'clock, 8 p.m., I'll be there. So he says, you can leave the wines here if you like. I'll keep them here, and you can come. And I said, perfect. So I went there in the evening at 8 o'clock, met this Cuban gentleman, big guy, super nice, Carlos Garcia, his name. He owned a company called Iberian Wines. And he was specialized on mostly Spanish wine. And my professor, Chip Cassidy, that's his name, he introduced me to Carlos, and we spoke, and Carlos, you know, tasted the wines. He really liked them. This is all at the same time this event was happening. And then he told me, you know, I really like these wines. I would like to meet with you on Monday. We can discuss more the details of these wines. And I said, okay, perfect. So I went there Monday morning to his office, and we spoke about the labels, the prices, and I left 2 hours later with an order for 400 cases.
Oh my gosh. That is incredible.
That was the beginning of this adventure. It wasn't like, oh, this is what I'm gonna do for my living.
No.
It was a mixture of pursuing something that was interesting to me. It was a mixture of me being entrepreneurial. It was a mixture of me connecting with my family roots.
Yeah.
And it was also a hobby. I view all of this to me as a hobby. I'm gonna play soccer tomorrow, and the day after, I'm gonna take this class and see where this goes. I really like the idea of importing wine from Spain into the US. This sounds like
sounds fun.
And I was
Patrick, golf is a hobby. What you're doing is incredible. It's really amazing.
And if you think about it, it's the only class I have ever taken in my life for free.
You know, I was going to ask you that. I bet you didn't even have to pay for the class.
No, it's,
you know,
you have to, you know, I mean, people talk about these things, you know, sometimes they're to, I don't know what to say, but sometimes the best things are free, you know, and what you need to do is just pursue what you want to do, you know. My dad was super scared. Are you gonna start a wine company? This is crazy. You know, my family did this, it didn't work, you know, why? I'm like, yeah, this is great, Dad. I mean, let's try it, you know. At one point, the thing got more serious, right? And I had to make a living. I was in college, you know, selling wine, everything was fine, you know, but I graduated from college and now I need to make a living with selling bottles of wine, you know. This is like a different game. And I did it for a year and a half. I graduated from college, I moved to New York and I started finding distributors. Then I went to Rhode Island, to Massachusetts, to Vermont. I started going everywhere to expand the distribution of our wines. And you know, and then I said, okay, I'm gonna do this full time. But my revenue was not enough for me to afford living in New York, or I was, you know, just a little 21-year-old, 22-year-old person, you know, with hopes of making this work. And I asked my dad, I need some money, you know, to live for a year, you know, and I asked him for $30,000. He gave me the $30,000. And with that, you know, I was able to work full time, do this for a living. And it took me really like 5 years. First 5 years, I didn't have a salary. You know, money was coming in, money was coming out, you know, and I was kind of paying rent and you know, and I hired an employee, my first employee after 3 years, and he was working, he still works in my company. He's Carlos Rodriguez, incredible guy from El Salvador. And I was involved in a foundation in the Bronx, and he was a dad of one of the kids who was going to this tutoring program that I was a volunteer. And Carlos Garcia was working, quote unquote, he was a part-time employee. I think his salary was $28,000, I think, part-time. And he was working like 12 hours a day, if not more. And after 6 months, he was making some real money, you know, but first 12 months were, you know, and he was the only salaried employee. I mean, I didn't have a salary, you know. All the money was to pay him and to pay my rent, you know, that's it. And our office was a storage room, you know. We were in a storage place where lawyers kept files, and one of the lawyers let us use his storage file, you know, location, and we were in there working, you know. Anyways, that was the beginning, but it was not like this is what I'm gonna do in my life. It was an adventure, it was a hobby, it was getting closer to my roots, to my heritage, bringing something from Spain, something that is artisanal.
That's right.
Something made with your hands.
You know,
I strongly believe in the idea of following curiosity to where you're meant to go, right? If you just have sort of faith and trust and follow the things that you're passionate about, you end up where you're supposed to be, right? And that sounds like you didn't have it all planned out, but it ended up being your destiny.
Yeah, God, no. I've seen, I don't know, I'm a believer, you know, and I've seen, you know, the hand of God so many times in my life, you know, and directing me, helping me. I've seen that, I've experienced that. It's incredible.
Yeah, that's
difficult to you know, talk about these things because they're so personal, no? But I am a Spaniard. I didn't know any English when I came to this country, you know, and I have been more than lucky. I believe that, you know,
That's
God has been so helpful.
what a testimony.
Absolutely.
And not every person in your position, Patrick, then decides to start this initiative where you're giving away an enormous amount of your funds that come in, right? So there's got to be, I mean, it's got to be faith. It's got to be your roots. Melanie, you talked about it in some of your articles you've written. You know, there's something about your situation that's moved you in that direction. So it's giving back to the community, maybe seeing that free class and being so thankful or grateful. So I'd be interested in, maybe you can think about that, Melanie, or kind of build a question off of that.
Yeah.
But
No, I understand what you're saying. And that's in a way where most of it started for me. This professor did a lot of things that he really didn't have to do for me, you know. He got out of his way to help me introduce. I was a 19-year-old guy. I mean, totally clueless, you know.
Crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
And he took a genuine interest in helping my life, you know.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm gonna help this person, and I'm gonna put this person in a better place than he is today. And he didn't really have to do that.
That's
Right?
right.
Do you still talk to him now?
No, I don't. I haven't been. I last time I saw him was 5 years ago.
Yeah, actually, he passed away in October.
Oh.
And I think what you're doing through COVID, he did, yeah, is actually honoring him in so many ways, right? Like giving back. I'm sure that his, you know, that you're building on his legacy by doing the work that you're doing.
That's right.
So yeah, he in Spain, people are different, you know. They don't, in the business world, people don't help each other so much. And you, in order to do well, you need to come from a certain family, you need to be of a certain age. I came to this country, you know, and people were helping me. And I was like, this is not, Alberto, my best friend, who I started the company with, the import company, importing wine into the US. We also had another business in Spain that we started when I was in college there. It was like an advertising business. It was, again, another hobby of ours. and it was really challenging, you know. People, you know, we were 18 years old, you know, I'm sure it had something to do with it, but it was very, very challenging, and people were not trustworthy. And when I came to this country, I was, you know, very surprised by this attitude of people giving you encouragement, helping you. And I think that's where it all started. And then I met Carlos Garcia, no, this Cuban gentleman, no, who also was very, very, he will say, Patrick, come anytime to my office. I will help you with this. I will teach you how this works. When I moved to New York and I had questions, I will call him. He will devote his time to explain things to me, how logistics work, how containers work, how do you need to clear customs, who can you talk to?
Wow.
Sounds awesome.
And so that was the beginning of me saying, wow, this country has been so good to me. I am so grateful for this. I want to pay back.
Yeah.
I want to be that Chip Cassidy. I want to be that Carlos Garcia to America, to the people in this great country.
That's right. You know, Patrick, this just hits on me, something so dear to my heart. I'm an immigrant myself, obviously born in Sicily and coming here. And I am so proud to be an American. Like Pat, to come to this nation and be able to do whatever we decide to do. Like we say, you know what we're gonna do. And sure enough, Patrick, like you, myself, I had a wine importer. Oddly enough, he was a wine importer, Jerry Steffen. He took me under his wing and he said, anything you need to know, I'm going to teach you. And now you know Martin. So many of you don't know the background. Martin is one of our wine producers in Argentina. We also carry his wine. Martin said to me, you need to know Patrick. You must know who Patrick is. I'm going to introduce you. And that's how Patrick and I met. But Patrick, really, at the end of the day, like what we do in this country, that's not an opportunity everywhere. That doesn't happen. Like I look at my family and they're wonderful, they're successful, but I tell you that they don't have what we have here. And I just think to be an American is just a beautiful blessing, a blessing beyond anything we can really like express. Like we are here and we have that opportunity. And Patrick, your story is just what a testimony to that. And it's true. You want to give back. You want to say, you know, you like, I've been so blessed. Let's give back, you know?
Yeah. And life is, I don't know. Happiness is in giving. I'm very clear about that. You know, that's a muscle. That's a muscle that all of us have to exercise. And the more you exercise that, the more meaning your life has, and the happier you are.
That's
It's
right.
it's not in receiving, it's in giving. Obviously, receiving is an important part of life, but giving is such an important thing, no?
Yes, absolutely. Well, we are running out of time, so I want to honor everyone and their time. Does anyone have any questions for Patrick?
Thank you for telling us your story. That was awesome.
Nice to hang out.
That was wonderful.
Yeah.
And drink some Spanish wine.
I have a question about you, Patrick, because a lot of people don't know this. So and you know what's funny, guys? I have a slideshow and everything, and we haven't even, because we've just been chatting up, you know, been able to put up the slideshow. But you know, I want to put this up here because, okay, let me see. I need to present. I don't even know how to. Sometimes this whole thing. I will present though. I know how to do this. I swear I know how to do this. I've done this many times.
Share your screen. Share your screen.
I know. I'm going for it. I'm going for it. I don't know if I can share my screen because I'm live on Facebook. Actually, maybe that.
Oh, okay.
Share it. No, I can't. There we go. I'm going to share this. So I want to show you guys this because something about Patrick that many of you don't know is first of all, this is his team. How amazing.
Oh,
like,
wow.
Just beautiful people. They span the generations. Just amazing. These are some of the vineyards, the family-owned wineries that he represents.
Oh,
and then
wow.
I had to do this because Patrick, what many of you don't know is Patrick is an unbelievable cook, okay? This is his food. He is,
oh my God.
I want an invite.
Exactly, Marissa.
When can I come to New York?
Yeah.
All of you are invited.
Well, we'll have events, I'm sure. Sooner or later, we'll be having events together, Patrick. But this is an Instagram account. And I didn't do this with Julia, but I did it with Patrick because his food, you guys need to go follow him.
God, right?
His food is unbelievable, and he does incredible food and wine pairing. So a lot of the stuff, when you receive wine from us, when you order wine from us, and Patrick's wines are in the cases, you're going to receive food and wine pairings. And actually, many of these food and wine pairings that we have in our box are actually Patrick's recipes. They're his.
Oh my gosh.
They're his. So I just really encourage you folks to definitely go follow him on Instagram. He cooked for his team. That's paella right there.
I love paella.
Yeah. And it makes me think I really need to step up my game for my team. You make me have to step up my game.
You've got to step up your game, Marie.
Yeah, I need to start cooking for
Here he is.
Yeah, his team is just beautiful.
You have a new follower.
There you go. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Right.
And you know, it's just beautiful. And I family-owned wineries. You know, Patrick, what we've been talking about, giving and that being an ethos and the staple to our social enterprises. It's everything. And really, at the end of the day, like everybody knows, when you become a part of Humanity Wine Co., you are part of our family. You know, it's not this huge company, and one day it will be, and guess what, they'll still be family. And Patrick, I look at your team, and I've gotten to know Erin through months of interaction, and she's your family, and it's really beautiful how you are just so present with them. And it stretches into the wines. And so actually, if you saw that blue and white label, the bottle that Melanie's drinking, You know, that's an artist that hand painted, hand drew that beautiful label, and that's from a family friend in Portugal. And it's just, you know, it's just a beautiful way to give back, and not just giving to the people in need that we are so called to give to, but it's also these beautiful families and communities through wine, through business, you know. And I think it's amazing. You know, it's quite remarkable what you've done, Patrick. I'm honored. The moment I met you, you know, I knew we were going to be working together, and I'm so honored. I think the first case of Humanity Wine Co., I think we have 6 of your wines.
Oh, really?
So guys, yeah, if you're interested in Spanish and Portuguese wines, I highly recommend you get onto our shop, humanitywinecostore.com. And then if you want to get it every 3 months, it's a different case of wine, but we're always going to carry something from Patrick, from Spain and Portugal. Every case of wine will have his wine one way or another in it. And it's just exciting, you know. I'm so honored, Patrick, to know you. I'm inspired by you beyond, you know.
We're gonna have to follow you on Instagram now for sure.
Yeah, guys, he's the real deal. He's not just a wine guy. He's the real deal. He's really a social entrepreneur, and it's from the heart of heart. He may have started as just a wine guy in 19 years old, but he followed the call on his life, and that's to help people. And yeah, he's quite amazing. So yeah, definitely check out, oh, Evan, he's so good. Evan's so good. Evan put the link to humanitywinecostore.com. If you drop an email, I will be sending you guys a discount to the store for being a part of this. And I'll be sure to all of you guys, you know, I'll keep you, everyone here is intimate friends of mine. Eric is new to my life, but I think I've emailed Eric a few times. I think we're going back and forth in communication, but yeah, send me an email. I'll get you a discount code to our shop. And Patrick, I just love you, you know. And does anyone else have any questions before we wrap up here? Any comments?
Where do we find you in, is it New York?
Yeah, I live in New Rochelle.
They're going to come to your house, Patrick.
Exactly.
Well, if you're cooking dinners like that, my friend.
We're gonna, at some point when we can have good events again, we're gonna invite you to be the celebrity chef at our Wine Co. event.
I know.
I would be your sous chef anytime.
Yeah.
That's great. I love cooking. It's a form of giving also. And I'm a creative person, so I enjoy doing both. You know, it's you connect. It's two things that connect.
You know, very Italian, you know, everybody knows I'm Italian, he's Spanish. And what we say in that region of Europe, Laura knows this, she's Sicilian, she's my cousin. We say una faccia, una razza, and that's one face, one race. And we are all so similar in that. That's food, wine, family. And Patrick, I met you once and that was that. And I look forward to the future. God bless your company. I believe that this is the beginning of something majorly successful at Humanity Wine Co. And having your family in Portugal and in Spain, all of your families that you work with, to be a part of our family is just an honor and a blessing. And yeah, really, God bless you, Patrick. And I'm so thankful for everyone to be here. And yeah, I look forward. You guys will be in touch. We'll be in touch. And yeah, have a wonderful night.
Thank
God
you.
bless.
Thank you, everyone.
Wonderful to meet you, Patrick.
Patrick.
Yes, thank you, Patrick. Take care.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That's great.
Thank you, Maria. This was so nice to hang out.
Thank you, Patrick.
Oh, it was so fun. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you so
now,
much, Patrick.
Melanie, you can go home now, no?
Yeah.
You're what, an hour away from home?
I'm about an hour away, yeah.
Okay, it's not too late. No, it's what, 2 hours.